Mr. Louis Ng.
Madam Deputy Speaker, international research shows that paid parental leave, which includes paternity leave, benefits employers in terms of talent attraction, employee retention, and productivity. Paternity leave is also associated with stronger relationships between fathers and their children, as well as with their wives. The government has progressively enhanced parental leave schemes to better support parents, and particularly fathers, in playing a bigger role in raising their children. In 2017, we made the second week of paternity leave mandatory and increased shared parental leave from 1 to 4 weeks. Fathers can now take up to 8 weeks of leave in total in their child's first year to bond with their newborns and care for their wives. However, in supporting the caregiving needs of parents must be balanced with the manpower and operational needs of employers, as I had explained in my Committee of Supply speech last week. A more sustainable approach is for companies to develop a family-friendly culture. We're heartened that some companies in Singapore are leaning forward to offer additional paternity leave on top of legislated provisions. There are also other ways to provide more flexible leave options for staff. Many companies have signed up to the tripartite standards on unpaid leave for unexpected care needs. We welcome these progressive companies to share their experiences and best practices with other companies. As the needs of companies vary, employers, in partnership with their employees, are best placed to assess and implement the family-friendly arrangements suited to the company's context. We will continue to work with tripartite partners to review the scope for more parental leave provisions and build a Singapore that's made for families.
Mr. Louis Ng.
Thank you, ma'am. I should first say we all welcome Leader back to the House, and we're glad she's recovered well. But I have two clarifications. One is that I'm just wondering whether the government is going to review our parental leave policies and not overnight, but eventually try to equalize it. Because I worry what message we're sending to our society when we say that mothers have 16 weeks of maternity leave and fathers have 2 weeks. Then we're sort of saying who is supposed to look after our children. And in line with that, the second clarification is really there are studies now that show that our policies actually reinforce the gender stereotype. So I hope the government can study some of these studies that are out there already and also do additional studies to see whether our policies really do reinforce the gender stereotype. Thank you.
Leader.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I thank the member for his clarifications, and I would say that we agree that it is very important for fathers to be involved, especially at the early stage when the children are just born, for them to bond with the children and to be there for the wife and for the family. So as I had indicated at COS and earlier, we will continue to work with the tripartite partners to review the scope for more parental leave provisions. I think the key thing, the key adjustment that we need to make is a mindset change. And it's a mindset change partly on the part of fathers, partly on the part of employers, because employers are key. We have found, for example, if you just look at the statistics for the taking of parental leave, that there has been improvement, but it's still not where we want it to be. So, for example, in 2016, I think take-up rate was 47%. In 2017, it was 53%. In 2018, it was 53%. And 2019, 55%. So you can see it's improving, but it's not where we would like it to be. So I think, firstly, we hope that more and more fathers will see themselves playing a vital role when their children are born and take up the paternity leave. But the second part of the equation is also how the employers respond. And this is very important because if someone applies for paternity leave and you find that the supervisor is not supportive or the colleagues are not willing to cover, it makes it very difficult for the father to take that paternity leave as well. And I think that mindset shift is something we are in transition because we see more fathers wanting to be involved. Employers need to be on board, and which is why both at COS and now I'm reiterating, as indeed I think Mr. Ng is, that it's actually better for your organization if you are family friendly. It is better for your organization if you support fathers to take paternity leave, and of course mothers as well. So this is something that we need to work with the tripartite partners with, and that I think Mr. Ng can be reassured that this is an area of work we will continue to look at.